Figured I'd do a kind of quick rundown video of installing a truck bed slide out. This particular one's a decked brand full extension. It has this double rack tray. We've got I think we've got 4 trucks that have these. They're pretty slick. 2 of the ones we have don't go full extension. They pull out to about the wheel well, so you got about 5 feet that comes out. We have one other decked one that we installed probably 3 months ago. This one we're just getting around to installing, but it's been working pretty good. We got a lot of weight in the back doing HVAC. There's lots of tanks and Milwaukee pack outs, that type of stuff. It's a little dirty from sitting outside. But first thing you're gonna do once you get this set it in there collapsed, and then you're gonna want to get it kind of leveled in there, make sure you got enough space at the front so this will actually latch and not hit the front of the bed first. And then just pull it out and then hold this side with something. If you're by yourself, it's pretty heavy if it's extended out. And then the kit comes with 8 of the anchor points, so there's technically 10 spots where you could anchor it. So I just fully extended it, found where I wanted to mark, and just used a white paint marker to mark out where I need to drill the holes. Keep in mind where your bed bolts are, you're not going to want to put any fasteners there because you're going to hit the top of the frame. So make sure you're farther inboard than that. And then once you got your 8 points set in there where you want to put your anchor points, I would for sure do the front 4. These front 4 brackets I feel are the most important, because when you got all this weight hanging out, it's wanting to cantilever down and pull the front up. So I always put the front 4 in, and then I'm putting this front rail, I'm skipping the middle rail, and I'm putting the back 2. And these are those zip fasteners or whatever these are called. So you drill the hole, you push them through, put the install tool in, it'll crunch that nut, and that'll compress that bubbled area under the bottom side of the bed, so kind of encapsulating this between the floor of the bed. We haven't had any issues with the other trucks. I know these are aluminum bed. Well, the whole truck's aluminum, but none of them have cracked, none of them have started to tore out. I figured I'd run those plus nuts, that's what those are called. I figured I'd run those. If it became an issue, I'd pull the plus nuts out, put some big washers and bolts through to give it more of a contact area underneath. Well, like I said, we haven't had any issues with them so far, so we're just running them as they come for now. But I got my 8 drill points marked. I'm going to collapse this back down, take the bed out, then I'm going to drill all my holes and put those plus nuts in, and then I can re-put this back in here and actually put the bolts through, securing the bed. It's actually pretty straightforward. It's not too bad. The big thing is, like I said, with the black bedline bed, use a little white paint marker. The main thing is just getting your measurements, making sure your side to side's good. Like I said, make sure you leave yourself enough room at the front. Don't push this all the way up here, because then the head of the tray will smack. It'll actually bottom out on this and it won't latch when it's all the way in. So make sure before you drill all these holes that this is in a good spot to where it'll close all the way and still latch, and you're not ramming the deck into the bulkhead of the bed and it's not going to latch for you. So whatever that gap is, at least I ran it back in and out a couple times to make sure that I had enough space, and it's latching just fine. So I'm going to pull this out. I'll show you drilling the holes. Alright, once you got all your holes drilled, you set the plus nuts in the hole and just kind of tap them through. For these ones, I drilled a 7/16 hole, and then this is just the basic install tool. They do make nicer tools that have, like, you know, 2 handles you squeeze together, but this works just fine. So you got a long bolt with a washer between that and this collar. So you stick that into there. Then you hold this nut so it can't move, which will in turn hold the plus nut on the bottom side. And then when you tighten this bolt through, it'll actually mushroom the bottom side of the plus nut, making it like a permanent fixture. And you'll kind of know it'll be stiff at first, and then it'll turn a little easier for a little while, and then you'll hear it you know, completely stop. If you're using a ratchet, just keep in mind it'll be stiff at first because it's not going to want to start mushrooming, but once it starts mushrooming and coming together, it gets easier, and then eventually it'll bottom out on the bottom of the bed and stop. So just make sure you don't over tighten it and strip out the plus nut, or if you stop too soon, that plus nut will just kind of roam around in there and aug that hole out over time. So I like using an impact because you can see it go slow, and then it'll turn a little easier, and then it'll just bottom out, and you can really hear the sound difference when it bottoms out because it resonates through the bed a little more. But anyway, that's just how you get these plus nuts in. Now I'm going to shove the bed back in, put the bolts and the washers through, and I'll show you that. Alright, so slid the track back in here, put these 8 bolts in. You just got to snug them up pretty good. Like I said, don't go crazy because you can easily strip out those zip nuts. But yeah, once you get that thing in there, it's just pull it out, check that it functions, make sure it's not in too far, you know, hitting that front. You don't want to put it all the way up, but these things are pretty sweet. We've had good luck with them, and hopefully this video helped.